There he is. He's coming.
It's a common sight at airports around the country, a heartfelt reunion, hugs, kisses, maybe even a few tears. But this reunion at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport is not your run-of-the-mill, it's good to see you again meeting. This get-together was some 30 years in the making.
That's my daughter. She found me.
We first met Monica Martinez a few weeks before these pictures were taken. As a teenager, Monica found out that the man she knew as her father was actually her stepfather. She wondered where her real father was, but didn't try to find him.
I always wanted to, but I just thought, well, maybe when I'm 18, maybe when I'm 21, maybe. And I just kind of waited, and I was a little prideful. It's like, well, he needs to come find me because he left.
Then about 3 years ago, she had a change of heart. Going through some personal issues at the time, she thought finding her biological father would help.
It's kind of like looking at a picture and that little part of the puzzle is just not there. It's a beautiful picture, but you can't see the whole thing. And that's kind of what I've always lived with, and it's been tough.
So she went online to try to track down a man she knew very little about.
It was October of 2007. I was just on MySpace like at 4 in the morning just crying, and I was like crying out to God. I said, you have to help me find him. I just really need to, I really want him in my life.
It was while she was on MySpace that she found the profile of a man who fit the description of the man who had left her mother before she was even born.
I went on there and I just said, hey, my name is Monica Martinez. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. I am looking for my birth father. If you were ever stationed at Williams Air Force Base between 72 and 74, please comment me back.
But there was no response. Then, amazingly, this past May, almost 2 years after her initial inquiry, she got a reply. A captain in the Air Force, now living in Georgia, Hipólito Rivera, had been looking for the daughter he had left behind for years. But it had been years since he checked the MySpace account a daughter from his current family had set up for him. When he finally did, he was in for a major surprise.
When I received that and I saw her picture asking me my name and if I was stationed at Williams Air Force Base, then I knew that my daughter had found me. And it was like I got punched right in the nose. I saw stars.
With both Monica and Hipólito hoping for the best, plans were made for the Air Force captain to come to Arizona. It was just a month later that our cameras captured the scene at the airport.
For the first time, and I seen him walking out of the plane, I was really in shock. I felt like it was a dream.
It was like slow motion for a second. Just to know that, wow, my daughter, I'm looking for the words now. I thought I had this pretty well set, but I just didn't realize that I had missed her so much.
Hipólito spent a week in Arizona visiting his long-lost daughter, her husband Jesse, and the 4 grandchildren he didn't even know he had. And they talked about the siblings that Monica didn't know she had. They also found out they shared more than just DNA.
One of the funny things we were just discussing is whenever I'm too lazy to pick something up on the floor, I'll just grab it with my foot and bend it around the back, and he was like, your sister does that, I do that, it's just funny. He was also in a band, and I also sing in bands, and I had never known that about him, that he played the guitar and also sang.
A big help from Monica has been that from the very beginning, her mother and the man she still calls Dad have been very supportive of her search.
And he's just like, I understand, and I hope you do. And I gave him a big hug and a kiss on the cheek, and I told him, nobody will ever take your place. I love you, but my heart has enough room in there for 2 fathers.
I'm just 100% happy for her, and for him, that they found each other. And basically, my husband and I are really happy for her.
And while everyone involved realizes they can't totally make up for lost time, they also recognize they've been given a great chance at a do-over.
There's nothing like family. That's the bottom line. There's nothing like family.
He doesn't even seem like a dad. He's like a best friend. He seems like he's just a friend, and right now I just want to cry, but it's still feels like it's a dream. Doesn't feel all the way real yet. Gotta pinch me.
And this week, Monica is continuing to meet new family members. She's in Puerto Rico, visiting her biological father's mother, her grandmother. And just like all of her other recent reunions, it is the first time ever the two have seen each other.